And good morning, Hoosier Nation, and welcome to another victorious Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Northern Kentucky. Last night, your Hoosiers go on to defeat Northern Kentucky 79-61 in a game where the first half, Indiana's really humming on defense. A few games recently where IU has come out pretty flat, without energy and everything, and that was definitely not the case in this game. Defense plays great in the first half. Offense doing really good in the first half as well. On defense, really noticed IU switching on everything in the first half. I don't know if I noticed that on previous games. It really kind of stood out in this game that they were switching on everything. Could be partially just the game plan against a lesser opponent in Northern Kentucky, that they felt confident with the matchups and how everyone could match up against their players individually, that the coaching staff thought this is definitely a game that we can switch on everything if we want to. So first half, fantastic job on defense, holding them to 15% from the field, 16% from three. They were really kind of, IU was limiting their looks in the inside and causing them to shoot a lot of threes at the beginning of the game, to just throwing up what they could, try to get going. And second half, things fell apart a little, settling for three shots, not working the ball around, and attacking the zone like we should have. There was a stretch of play in the second half around the 10-minute mark down to about the 6-minute mark. IU made 6 turnovers at that point. The last one was a shot clock violation. That was kind of with the second string guys in there, the second round of guys in there. Northern Kentucky went on a 8-2 run in that. I was kind of even saying it in my head, and it was good. The coaching staff obviously saw it as well. They recognized that the game was not necessarily getting out of hand, but it was definitely, momentum was switching at that point. And in a normal game, when we were still up by 20 at that point, but good to see the coaches decide to put the starters in just for a little bit, just to kind of settle things back down on both ends of the court, just allow the Hoosiers to stretch out that lead, make it feel more comfortable. And then at the about 3-minute mark or so, starters came out, and he let other guys get some playing time. Obviously during that window as well, and at the end of the game, why it ended as close as it was, and wasn't as big of a blowout as we could have. Their best player, Faulkner, got hot at the end and was really hitting a lot of threes, and was absent for most of the game for them, but got hot at the end. That's going to happen. Water finds its level to a degree almost always. One of the bigger storylines of this game was Race just proving again that he's this glue guy on the team, and we've always kind of been hearing people say that, and I've been saying that on this show, that he's the glue guy, but it's really coming to the mainstream with everyone saying that as well and recognizing that. And a big shout out to Coach Adranya. If you saw some of his clips, I believe it was from the Notre Dame game or maybe IU's game right before that, he was doing a deep dive into the film room, which he does on the Assembly Call community. Go check that out if you're not a part of that yet. But he did, while he was looking through that, he put up a few clips where something that you're not going to notice when you're watching the game at regular speed, because you're watching the offense, you tend to ball watch. We all do as fans. We ball watch. You might have a player that you like that you're going to watch that, but you don't see any of the actions or things that happen off the ball. And Race proves that he's that glue guy and that knowledgeable guy about the game, because in these clips you can see him set screens for guys that are making moves off the ball. And in 2 of the instances that he brings up, Race screens off, I think it's Rob and maybe X's, but two guards, defenders, from recovering to them as the ball gets rotated to them, and they shoot and make threes. Those are the great little heads-up plays, that knowing your role, doing what you need to do to make the team better, to make your teammates better, make them score more, is just by doing those unselfish things. That's maybe the best word to say it. Race is probably one of the least selfish guys on this team. On any other team, he could be a big or a four that could demand the ball and be a top scorer and everything like that. But that's not what this team needs. And being a senior and being a leader like he is, he knows what he needs to do to make things better for this team. And it's great to see his development as he's been coming through and where he is now and how he fits with that. And he just complements Trace Jackson Davis perfectly. He knows where to be when Trace gets doubled, be there and available for the possible dump off. He also knows when he receives it, if he can draw his man or what's going to happen that's going to allow him to either make the pass or make the basket himself. His decision making is great, and their chemistry of those two together underneath is beautiful to watch. It's fantastic to watch. Again, we played against a Northern Kentucky team that doesn't necessarily have all that dominant of players underneath. So the competition they were going against wasn't top notch or really what they're going to see against Big Ten. But it's good to see when that kind of situation is happening and when we have games like this, that they can take advantage of it. And they can, it just helps to hone that confidence, that chemistry, that knowledge of each other that much more. So that's great to see with the team. Trace Jackson Davis had a wonderful game as always. Did the things that he needed to do. Came out. My argument with him last game was that he came out a little flat and didn't play as strong as he needed to be. Finished the game with 21 points, 6 rebounds, so barely missed, just missed his double-double. But just great decision-making by him, and really a great play in there. Had some great dunks and some great highlights from him. The play that I know you enjoyed and I enjoyed greatly, just as Indiana sports fans, made Peyton Manning proud. That great play action basket. Maybe we need to start drawing that up by him I believe it was in the second half, when he receives the ball in an inbound pass, palms the ball, which is ridiculous, and holds it out as Anthony comes around, fakes the handoff to Anthony, and then rotates to the basket. And I believe that was the same play where he had his spin move around his player and dunked it in. Just a cool little segment there, a good nod to basketball or football and stuff, the Colts and everything like that. Just thought that was kind of a funny little play, and honestly, maybe something that coach should draw up. I wouldn't mind seeing that kind of action again, faking a handoff and rotating with it, because he can spin and hit that first step of his with the ball when he is about 10 feet away like that is very elite for his size, and could be a great action to run, honestly, for him quite a bit. And maybe it is. Maybe I only noticed it more because it had a little more flair in this game. But he's going to be able to beat a lot of bigs on that rotation and on that first step that he has getting to the basket, which is either going to lead to Race's guy coming over and him being able to dump it off, or him getting to continuing to get to the basket, slamming it home, or his defender trying to recover on him and fouling him. So I do like that play. I like that a lot, and I hope that's something that we see regularly, and maybe it becomes part of the plays that we see going into these games. Anthony Leal gets his first start as an Indiana Hoosier. Not going to be his last. Again, I said last game, last Hoosier Morning After show that I'm really excited. I mean, again, he's doing great now, and this is not to discount what he's doing now, but very excited for junior and senior Anthony Leal. He's going to be a very impact player on this team. He already is. And as a former townie and fellow Bloomington High School South alumni, it's obviously great to see a Bloomington kid on the team. As IU fans, we really like to see a Bloomington kid playing for IU because our memory of that, especially also Jordan Halls, Jared Jeffries, they just always seem to be about the right thing. Um, they usually grew up as an IU fan. They do all the fundamental things very well. In Jordan and Anthony's case, they shoot the ball really well. Again, Jared shot the ball pretty well, but he did most of his stuff around the basket. And on top of all that, they're always players that give 110% when they're out there on the court, and that's just awesome to see. You'd love to see that mentality. They've got the right effort and the mentality and the pride in the jersey and everything that IU fans love and eat up. And I'm going to eat that up with a big spoon every time. So congratulations to him. That's awesome to see him get that start and everything. Love to see him out there. And he's getting that, one, because Trey is injured. Yes. Two, we obviously know Parker Stewart, there was some sort of issue, and that's fine. I'm not going to jump to conclusions about what that is. I'm not going to guess. I really like what Woodson said to that, saying, I'm not going to address that. That's an in-house matter. I will never address things that go on in my locker room to the fans or to the media. That's great. That's fine. We may not like that as fans. Some fans may get angry about that. They want to know. They want to sit and guess about what it is, and don't bother with that. I mean, I love that Coach is standing up for his guys. That I'm going to call you I'm going to keep you accountable, because that pine, as Bob Knight would always say, that pine is a great motivator. You sit your butt on that pine, and that's going to adjust an attitude or any situation that's happening very quickly. And I like that Woodson is taking care of that as well, but I also like that he's keeping it close to the chest. He says it's the dad thing. It's like, I'm not mad at you, I'm disappointed. That always stings a lot more. And it seems like we took care of it. Now let's move on. Kind of situation with Coach, and I like that. I like that about him. I like that they can dust it off and continue on. Don't do that again. All right, I love you still. Let's get at this kind of thing. And back to Leal. Let's shift back to Leal. I like what he does when he's out there. He's improved his defense, which is why he's able to be out there a little bit more than we have seen before. He ended the game 5 assists, 0 for 3 from 3. 2 of those really, I felt, were very close. I mean, his shots are close, so more of those need to go in when we play in the Big Ten, play against bigger opponents. But his assists and everything just comes and shows that he has the right basketball knowledge. He's got the great head on his shoulders. And last year I noticed with him as well, when we really struggled in the offense, we were always saying in so many games we didn't get Trace enough touches. Why didn't we get the ball down to Trace? It just didn't seem like anyone could feed the ball properly to him. But anytime I saw Anthony in there, he always was a great post feeder. And he just seems to be a coach's game plan in a player. He takes the scouting reports. He takes what coach is saying needs to be done. He takes his knowledge and he executes all that together so well on the court. I love that about him. I love what he's going to bring for the future of this team. So great to see him get that nod and that notch in his belt moving forward. Rob, love seeing what we got from Rob in this game. Great confidence build game for Rob. Great decision making from him. Didn't really force anything, but was able to kind of play within his realm as well. I mean, again, this was the game that you're going to hear me keep repeating for each player. They played within their wheelhouse. They did what they are good at doing, and the the odd stat for him, I think, is that he didn't have any assists in this game. That might be just more in the case that we saw a lot of minutes when it was Rob and X out there together. And then X is just going to keep running that show, and Rob's going to be playing kind of secondary to that. But I like what we saw in the 18 minutes that we did get Rob out there. Was aggressive to drive to the hole. There's a great moment as well, which you're going to see a lot. Teams are drilled home about Trace and everything, that Rob was driving to the hole, and the player that could have stepped in the way or could have slowed him down, at least in the drive, kind of stepped back and in a almost boxing out manner on Trace to keep him from getting the ball. And Rob's just like, okay, well then I'll just make a layup myself. And he did. He took it right to the basket and made a layup. So his decision making was there in a good way because he trusted his instincts. I think that can be the issue with Rob in some games where he doesn't trust himself. And again, that's the confidence thing. He doesn't trust that first thought that he has, which on average, as you see in this type of game, can be a good one, can be a good first thought, a good first reaction if he acts on it. It's when he hesitates on that first reaction, on that first thought, that the turnovers come, that the hesitative play comes, and we didn't see that in this game. It got a little bit in the second half, but first half some great minutes, and was very excited to see what he could do with that. The X as well, some great minutes from him. I'm going to say the exact same, pretty much the same thing. He played within the game. He didn't force anything. X really has a tendency to force his drives when things aren't going well, and that's kind of a two-headed beast there in that sense. It's good and bad, because as a point guard, if things aren't going offensively right, if guys aren't getting open, the plays aren't happening, you kind of have to find something for the team, and sometimes that means driving it yourself and finding something. But he played well within this game, did a good job of distributing the ball, ended up with 5 assists as well. Him and Anthony tied for that. Didn't take a single 3-point shot, which is fine. That shows good decision making by him, that maybe it wasn't there at times. So he again passed it up and gave it to others that could have shot it a little bit better. Probably the biggest stat line for him too is only 1 personal foul. I think that was even a chippy one that he was kind of aggravated himself on, a little reach-in kind of situation. Overall, again, the fouls looked pretty good, committing only 16 on the game. There was a long stretch where we didn't have any fouls at all in the first half. So great to see us be able to play such aggressive defense like we were without fouling in that first half. Because with that aggressive defense, depending on who's got the whistle in their mouth, you can really start racking up the chippy fouls and chippy calls. Turnovers obviously is a big talking point that we like to talk about for this team. 5 in the first half, 8 in the second half. Again, there was that stretch again that I talked about earlier where we turned it over. What was that? 6 times within the 3 minutes of the second half. So there's a reason why you see 8 in the second half. Again, that would have been down to just 2 at that point. Again, I think shot selection and everything allowed the game to be a lot closer in the second half if you just look at the numbers at each other. But a good game overall with the guys, and great to see some guys get minutes that normally wouldn't. They struggled a little bit with those minutes. I will say, if you look at the box score and everything, you can kind of see why things got a little bit tighter, where almost the whole entire second unit is almost in the negatives. We're in single digits in plus minus, and every single one of our starters in this game is in double digits as far as plus minus. I like that plus minus stat. I don't know if you do as well, but I think it tells a lot, can tell a lot in the game. It kind of confirms the eye test to me. Whatever your eye test is telling you about this game and how things are going. It was great to see Logan Duncombe get in there as well, a few minutes at the end there. Would like to see him maybe get in there a little bit earlier. At Sheriff Woodson on Twitter had a great comment, something that I was thinking about too. Everyone saw that great little shot that he has. Great form, great looking shot from the elbow there. He said Logan Duncombe is smooth and has a good looking shot. Excited to watch him develop. Indiana needs their own Frank Kaminsky / Ethan Happ type of player. That's a pretty good comparison there. Two players that, we despise, especially that second one. Ethan Happ, I get a little chill up my spine just thinking of that guy. But he could be. I mean, if he's got a nice little shot, he can pop out like that and hit. And then what we have learned about his high school motor, that he loves to be a rebounding machine, vacuum machine, just grabbing rebounds everywhere. Love to see his development and love to see him getting in there, getting some minutes, and what he can do for this team. Jordan Geronimo got 14 minutes in this game as well. Ended up 4 rebounds, a few turnovers. He got a little bit careless with the ball, but took a 3-pointer and made it. That was good to see. Again, that's in his arsenal. So thinking about Jordan and Duncombe playing together, could be a pretty good little duo there at the 4 and 5 for each other. But yeah, again, overall a game that we knew IU would win. It was just about who would show up, what kind of play we would get from those guys, and how we would piece together everything in this game. Would the bench get a few extra run? What would everyone do with those minutes that they were allowed? As coach always says, it's always next man up. And he doesn't think about playing time or everything like that. Players just need to know when they get in there, take advantage of that time. And I think for the most part, most of the guys did. Some of the guys lacked a little bit, and that's how it is. But great to see nearly a complete game out of this team. When we've had some ups and downs, even against not so good talent like we'd had here, we had some letdowns. And there was a little bit of a letdown, but nothing major. That we still kept them at arm's length. And now we move on to the next game. And Hoosiers will play again. They got a week off. The guys, I believe, get 2 days off to go to be with family and stuff for the holidays. Then IU plays on Wednesday, December 29th against UNC Asheville. Again, a reminder, I am going to be in attendance at that game. So, and I'm going to bring my stickers. I have these stickers that I made, Hoosier Morning After stickers. I'll give them out. Come up to me, say hey. I'll tweet out as I go around and everything like that. Probably go to Kirkwood. Got to get some Buffaloes before the game and everything. But excited to get to see the guys in action and everything in this game. And then I'm going to try to get up there again for the Illinois game. Go to the Assembly Call meetup and everything. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of Hoosier Morning After. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And a special thank you to everyone that helped me push the subscriber number over the 100 hump and everything. I really appreciate that, guys. Again, if you haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video. Also follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. There you can find out information about the show. Also information about where I'm going to be when I go to watch the game and everything like that. Would love to see you guys, get to meet some of the fellow Hoosiers out there. As always, thank you to Bob Thompson for the music he produced on this show. We'll be back again like I said, I'll be at the game, but then next morning we'll be there again doing another edition of Hoosier Morning After. Till then, go out there, have a wonderful day, and as always,